who's going to come in 10 years, 15 years, or 20 years, to the extent that we can possibly do it, the same experience that any of us had when we went through the University of California. And this is one way we think we can do it with online education.
Excuse me, can I
Yes.
just
Yes.
ask? So if a private online provider comes to the UC and
Right.
says, we'd like to offer this class, how do they get accreditation from the UC at this point?
Well, right now, we have not had that happen. Right now, we...
Right, see, that was a rhetorical question,
well,
because
no,
I
no,
know
no,
it
no,
hasn't
but no.
happened.
Well, wait.
But how would it happen?
Well, okay, so right now there is, if a student were to take that course, the student could get credit for that course by going to the department in which the student is a major. There's a regulation, there's a bylaw that permits that student to get credit for the course. They would get credit probably by testing out. I mean, it depends on what the course was, the specific course, who offered it, but it would probably have to be testing out. But that exists. Now that would have been there 10 years. It was there. It's been there. I don't know how long that regulation's been in place. It's possible. Generically saying this is the course, is it allowed for the entire system, any major? That's not in place.
But at this point, does that happen? Do students take online?
You know what? I just don't know the answer to that. I have never had someone, tell me that a student has taken an online course and tried to get credit for it. I would imagine, I would imagine that in the case, perhaps of some community college courses that they've taken, they've gotten those as part of the articulation arrangements with UC. So they've taken, and Keith may know this better than I, pardon me, let me try another sip of this. But we have a wide range of articulation agreements with the community colleges, and if the students were to take this course that we have an articulation agreement with to give credit, and it was offered online, as far as I know, they get credit. Now, if it's outside of that realm, but you know, both CSU and UC have deep kind of relationships with community colleges, and we've been thinking about this for a long time. I'm sorry, is there any other? Okay. So actually, that was the next point I was going. So you can get credit. You can get by testing. You can get credit. To the question that you asked Keith a few minutes ago, a student who takes a UC class on any UC campus gets credit on other UC campuses. The question becomes in the major and whether it would be eligible for general education credit. Now, I'll give an example which isn't about online, but I know of two programs that are education abroad programs that are offered in Argentina. One is offered by a third-party provider. One is offered by one of our own faculty member. Our own faculty member went to a lot of effort to talk to the people at the university in Argentina to get all the units transferred, and they are relevant to the major or general education. The third-party provider has done none of this and is simply asserting that these should be eligible for major credit, and without going through any of the paperwork, any of the background work, putting in the kinds of materials that we would expect from our own faculty to put in order to get those credits allowed. So the question of where, which is certainly one of the big questions here, is where can UC gain efficiencies and savings? Well, I do believe that there's a lot to be gained in looking at majors and streamlining majors, I can't overemphasize the need for what I call tactical advising by staff advising. I think that is something that touches students all the time, and I think it has a really profound effect, and whenever I talk to my colleagues, they all believe the same